And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast where every single week we react to the latest Nintendo news and talk about the games we are playing. Today's going to be a fun episode because Gamescom, what's it called? Open Night Live or something like that? Opening Night Live. Yeah, so it happened. There was a lot of great announcements. Not a lot. There was some great announcements. Jeff Keighley still doesn't know. He does not know what world premiere means. World premiere does not mean a new trailer for a game that we've seen dozens of trailers for, just so Jeff knows. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. We're going to go through it. And also want to talk about things like Sonic the Hedgehog, because I got to say, I have a lot to say about Sonic. It's just, it's going to become a constant here on this show, I feel like. But yeah, with me today, as always, is the King Daddy Dilf, Brett Larson. How you doing, Brett?
Ooh, I'm first. I don't think I've ever gone first. I don't think you.
Yeah, because I usually go down the list, but I didn't have the list
Greg
up
Vargas, yet. the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, and then we have
the King, the Daddy, the Dilf.
The King, the Daddy, the Dilf, and then we also have indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist, John Friscia. How you doing, John? Who's never gone second before. I'm going crazy tonight, guys.
Whoa, I guess I'm feeling special now.
Yeah. Things are getting wild here on the show. Then we have Greg Vargas, writer over at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. How you doing, Gregory?
You're taking me... You caught me off guard. You called me by my full name.
He
That's
did
weird.
it again. He did the
You did the
again.
You did the
You just said Greg.
every single time.
Dynamite Giraffe, not Gregory.
I'm
I
gonna
thought my mom
send
was in the
you.
room.
You know how like every podcast has its thing? That's our thing. Is Greg waits like 5 seconds before he responds to his introduction.
Every single time I edit it, like
on purpose.
I chop like a 6-second chunk of silence right after I say, "What's up, Greg?" And yeah, every single show.
I love
Well, hello.
And then alongside Greg is Eric on the ones and twos. Didn't see that one coming, did you guys? He's helping us out streaming from the show. Okay. And then aside from Eric is, of course, lastly, Mary Stowe, social media manager and host here at Destructoid. How you doing, Mary?
I'm hurt and offended that I was last.
I know.
I never want it to happen again. I'm kidding.
I'm so sorry.
Don't
We
worry,
saved the only 21-year-old on our podcast for last.
Yep.
Oh, baby.
Guys, what was the comment from last week that we got to go over? Like you're not smart enough, or like you're too young to understand something. I don't know. We got some funny comments from last week that we're gonna talk about. Can someone bring those comments up for later in the show though?
Too young to understand, but too old to understand Saints Row.
Yes, exactly. You're too young to understand Pac-Man, but too old for Saints Row. That's right. Yeah. All right, guys, let's talk about some Gamescom stuff. I wanted to start the show off with the title of the video, which is Sonic the Hedgehog is finally starting to look like a Sonic game. Or I should say Sonic Frontiers is. Okay, guys, we saw a new trailer for this game, and I gotta say, it keeps looking better and better. They started off, they were like, guys, let's show them the worst thing possible. And then they did that, and then everyone reacted, and then they were like, all right, let's make it a tiny bit better. And then they did that, and they just keep on making it look better and better. Sonic Frontiers is starting to look more like a traditional Sonic game that has some open world elements and some exploration elements. I think it might actually be pretty good. And I thought this trailer was really good. What do you guys think? Mary?
Can I just go first and just say real quick? I'm so fucking tired of seeing this game.
Really?
I just want it to come out already. And nothing against the game. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it. I actually think it looks good, but I am so damn tired of seeing like little improvements from the last trailer. Like to me, this trailer felt like every other thing we've seen about it. Like, yeah, it was more than what we've seen, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like I've seen all I want to see, and I don't want to see it.
Brett, how
I
can you
don't
possibly say that though?
It is out.
But we're actually seeing new things with every trailer. It's not like Deathloop where we saw it at every showcase and it looked the exact same. We're seeing cool stuff like city looking stuff. We got some. Yeah, Mary, take it away.
I was gonna say, they're not oversharing. Like I feel like some places do when like they're trying to like get you invested in the game, and so they end up, I think, oversharing. And it's like, well, I already know what's going to happen. I feel like the story's going to be predictable, and it kind of is a turnoff in a way. It's like I just want to play the game and find out. But with this, I don't think they're oversharing. We're starting to see more story elements. We're kind of starting to get a better idea. Like, okay, this is the story. We've seen new characters, but we still don't quite know what the angle is yet. So there's still just enough mystery, I think, to keep fans like, yeah, like I want to play this.
Yeah, and it's still coming
so
this
what you're
year.
Saying is they're going to show more then.
Yes, definitely.
We still don't know quite enough, so we get to see more in a month.
I think
Well,
like
I'm
maybe,
telling
you,
maybe
there's
like
still
one
so
It's
much
more.
a
to
lot
know.
different though. Like it's a lot different than what we saw with Deathloop though.
Yeah.
Like Deathloop, like you knew the mechanics and it was like beat
Over
to
and
death over. Yeah, there wasn't much more to share. And I think Mary's like spot on. You know, they're showing different elements of exploration, different elements of combat, different elements of the world. They're showing the protagonist, and I will admit that these character animations look fucking great. Like way better than
Greg's
what
on
they've shown
board.
in the past.
Greg's on board, you guys.
Oh, I hate
Finally.
I didn't think we'd see it today.
I'm
Finally.
inching towards like, yeah, this is like selling me a little bit more because it's giving me more of what they, like you said, they should have shown in the first place. And I hate that they did it this way, but here
Remember
we
they
are.
let IGN reveal the game with like a 480p
Well,
video that
was their
pretended to be
that was their first
4K.
mistake.
Yeah.
That was their first
The
mistake.
dumbest
is
thing
letting
you could have
IGN
done.
do anything.
You-
remember their summer of gaming? What was it? The Summer Games Fest they did?
Oh,
And it was just
IGN's. Oh my god.
5
it's terrible.
days of just awful shit.
of ads.
Yeah,
Let me just
right.
clarify too, because I feel like that was taken like wrong. What I said. I'm not trashing the game. I am gonna play this. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it, and I'm looking forward to it. But I just feel like I've seen enough. Like I'm ready to just be done with it. Personally, I feel
you're
like
not
what,
even
I feel
gonna
like what we
play
saw
it.
today. I'm really going to like, but I just feel like for me, what I saw today didn't feel that different from what we've seen up to this point.
What?
But maybe
We
I'm
saw
wrong.
that
Maybe I
little
didn't.
that little thing. That little
Yeah,
guy
Yeah, we
that
saw
Mary
we saw a
Well,
statue.
maybe.
We saw a statue that we hadn't seen before. So
It's
tell me
freaking
that-
mind blowing, man.
a fucking statue.
It's so cute though.
It is cute. We got to be honest. It's cute.
Did
I'm
you guys
with-
see the DLC leak
For what? Sonic?
for Sonic Frontiers? That there's already so it was listed in a storefront that there's already like DLC planned for the game.
Mm.
Oh, John, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that I'm basically with Brett Larson on this one. Like I've just kind of gone numb. I've gone numb to trailers for this game.
Yeah,
Like my
that's
brain
what I'm
can't
thinking.
absorb any further information on Sonic going fast in big open spaces. Like
Now,
That's yeah.
it's not
I've-
all open though. We saw some linear levels. It's back into. It's got the old and the new. And guys, what if they're holding on to the frickin' icing on the cake? Chow Gardens back in Sonic.
Oh my god!
In the open world, you can create your own little garden. Come back to it anytime you want. Help your chows. You can take your chows with you on the go with your phone. I'm just saying.
What if
Well, I would
the
say
little
good because that
stone-
world looks empty.
What the little
Yeah, it
stone
does.
thing is the
God,
new
something.
Chow? What if it's not Chows, but it's just a
Little
different
stonies.
creature? Yeah.
They're called stonies.
What's its name? It has a name. I think it starts with a K or something like
Does
that.
it have a name?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I don't know. I didn't look. I just want one.
Okay, but seriously though. Now I do like the
Coco.
open world of this game. Like I was excited from the get, as you guys know. I was a bit more reserved than I am now. Like I think it actually looks really good now. But at first I was like, you know what? Open world for Sonic is good because Sonic's issue with every single Sonic game is control. It never feels good to control Sonic. Like it feels terrible.
Yeah.
When you're in an open world, not all these obstacles in your way, stopping you constantly in your tracks when you're going like 500 miles an hour and then you just stop from like the edge of a wall. If that can't happen or doesn't happen in this open world and hopefully not as bad in these linear levels, I think this could be the best controlling Sonic game.
I thought you were
which wouldn't say a whole
quoting
lot.
song lyrics for a second.
No, I just tried
So-
thinking of something to start adding in, but I couldn't think of any at all.
So the ultimate question is this, Mary: Coco or LeChonk? If you could only take one home with you.
Is his name Coco?
Oh,
Yeah.
Coco or
Coco.
LeChonk. I think I'm gonna have to go with
Because
Coco.
LeChonk has been your boy. Now you're giving
I
him up for Coco
know.
just like
I'm
that?
afraid what LeChonk's gonna evolve into. Though.
That's true.
Chunky.
He could be a.
What will his name
A
be?
big
I
chonk.
hope it's Chunky.
Coco or Fue
the-
Coco?
Oh.
Wait, Coco.
Oh,
Wow.
Boyko.
But yeah, the game looks good. Some Switch screenshots came out. Eric, not sure if you'll be able to find them or show them, but the game's looking pretty blurry on Switch as we expected. Doesn't look too great. Despite this being a Nintendo podcast, we're not going to sit here and act like these games are going to look good on Switch because they're probably not.
How in God's name is Hogwarts gonna play on Switch if this
It'll
looks
be
blurry?
the PlayStation 2 games, I keep saying.
Yeah, they're just going to port those and then slap on the logo of the new game.
It's gonna be like Harry Potter Legos, like.
Yeah. They'll just take those old assets and like put it like with the new game engine they've got, and like that's their game.
You know, this has been brought up on a lot of podcasts. And every single time someone on the show is like, I mean, they say it's going to be native right now, but I bet you it's cloud. They just haven't said it's cloud yet. But I'm thinking they're not just going to change that. Not just going to say, okay, guys, never mind, it's cloud. Like, this is going to run natively on Switch somehow, and I'm interested to see what it's going to be like.
I feel like Hogwarts is going to be given like PS4 pushing it to its limit. And you tell me that it's going to run natively on the Switch and look like what we're seeing. Of course, it's not going to look like what we're seeing, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would give last gen a run for its money, and maybe even kind of push these new consoles to their limit. You know, like,
for sure.
Looks phenomenal. And there's there's a
beautiful.
lot going on the screen too, like a lot of particle effects and everything when there's explosions and combat and stuff like that. So,
yeah, it looks like maybe the draw distance was nerfed a little bit for it. It looks like there's not a lot of like assets in the foreground for the Switch screens. I mean, they look a little. The textures look a little flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those are the kinds of downgrades we would expect. Draw distance, textures, but
like I've been playing Astral
that's
Chain.
Still pretty good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been playing Astral Chain lately, and it's like hard to like look at other games and be like, why isn't this possible when this game does it? And like especially the little things I notice, like signs and stuff that are within the level that are clear enough to read, and I'm like, you know, maybe that is, you know, looking at the Sonic Frontier screens as well too. Like I don't know, it's just hard to tell. It's like I can't make an educated guess as to what it's actually going to look like.
Dude, Astral Chain is like such a hidden gem on the Switch.
Beautiful too,
and like not just because it's a great game, but it is stunning for a Switch game. Like the year it came out, I think 2019. Like it was. When I played it back then, I was like, this might be the prettiest game I've played all year. And it's a Switch game. I couldn't believe it. Like, so you're right. Like you see a game like that and you're like, how is this possible? But then you play other games and you can clearly tell that the Switch is just hindering it.
Yeah.
And like a game like that's beautiful. Like the colors, like everything is just so pretty in that game.
Yeah. I just wonder like what Nintendo offers up to developers that have like self-published games or that have Nintendo published games, if they allow them, you know, additional bandwidth, you know, whether that's CPU or
some games
memory or what.
Some games I think are getting some extra CPU or something. I don't know about tech stuff, but they take out the feature for like recording video, and screenshots always work, but like some games you can't record video because they're using that extra RAM, I guess, I don't know, to like to run the game, which is interesting. The Vita did the same thing with like running a like party chat in the background or your friends list in the background. Some games you couldn't run anything, like you could only run that game. But yeah,
that's pretty wild.
But yeah, I think it looks cool. And one thing I also want to shout out with this game before we head on to another topic is it's apparently being written by a writer who's very known for doing a Sonic manga series that is a lot more mature and very well received.
It's the Sonic comic book that's been going on for years.
I'm not sure. Oh, it's a comic.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
What's his name? Ian Flynn, I think.
I'm not sure what his name is. I should have looked it up beforehand, but yeah, so that's also good to know, knowing that this guy has some background and like credibility, like people trust him. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
You're saying if everything else is ass. the story would be good.
I mean, I feel like Sonic stories are generally pretty bad. Like, I can't even think of one that's like exceptionally good. Like, I did like the adventure games; they were goofy, but
I enjoyed Sonic Adventure like over 20 years ago.
yeah, but like Lost World, I didn't understand what the hell was going on because I skipped so much of it, but it just seemed terrible. And then Forces, I was like, come on, this is just, what are we doing?
Yeah, but yeah, I think we all agree that only the hardcore fans are playing Sonic for the stories.
Yeah, for now, because the movies are a big hit. Maybe it's like, okay, Sonic can have a good story. Like, maybe now, like, there's a different expectation going into a Sonic game. Like, what if they're getting some type of, like, actual good story out of the games? That'd be really cool.
We shall see.
But yeah, guys, so that's all for Sonic. That was the main topic that I wanted to go over. But now there's lots of other things to talk about, like Gamescom, all the announcements that just happened. Now, I'm going to go around the table, and I'm going to see what everyone's favorite announcement was. So make sure you get it in your brain, ready to go, think about it. And Brett, what was your favorite announcement?
Do I even need to say, like, let's be honest, come on. I think I freaking, well, okay, I won't say that for the sake of children watching this or something, but yeah, easily Dead Island 2, man. It's been a game that has been like one of those things that was I just never thought was ever gonna happen. I thought it was gonna end up getting. In fact, I thought it would by now until recently when we started hearing rumors that it was a thing again. Like I figured it was just a project that they were done with and just scrapped it because like they had that. Still to this day, one of my favorite trailers for a game of all time was the trailer. For the first trailer for Dead Island 2 in E3 was it 2014?
I think so.
Yeah.
The one where the guy's jogging and he has his headphones in, and slowly behind him, like things are starting to go to shit, and like things are starting to explode, and people are turning into zombies and following him, but he doesn't notice because he has his headset in while he's jogging. There it is. Eric's playing it now. Yeah, that one. I just loved that trailer so much, and I was so looking forward to that game, and then we never saw anything else for like 8 years. Never saw anything else. And then heard kind of rumors about some things. Apparently, Brett said there was some footage that leaked. Brett's frozen right now. I don't know if he is for you guys. Apparently, there was some gameplay footage that leaked. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
pretty
today
rough.
when they showed, but then today when they showed the new CG trailer, it was another one of those eye rolls. I was like, okay, another amazing trailer. Like these guys, I got to give it to them. They make like some incredible trailers. Again, another trailer, they knocked it out of the park. Absolutely amazing. But he was like, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, okay, here we go again. Another amazing trailer. And they're just going to leave us hanging. And then they kind of like at the end, he's like, whoa, the fans have been asking for some gameplay. And they did it. And they showed us gameplay. Not only did they show us gameplay, it was freaking unbelievable. Like I walked away from that, like, I was telling Brett, like, my number one most anticipated game is God of War Ragnarok. This might be my second most anticipated game after God of War Ragnarok. That's how much I'm looking forward to it now. So, I can't wait. I just want to know everything there is to know about this game now that I saw that. So, that would be my game.
Yeah,
It looks like.
I was definitely pleasantly surprised when all of a sudden there was actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when they did the cinematic thing, I was like, "Are you serious, man? Like all these years, I'm like, here it is, man. This is the big reveal. A video that has nothing to do with the game whatsoever. We did it for you." But no, I thought that was good the way they played it. Like, oh, by the way, here's also like 2 minutes of gameplay. That was very good. That was classic.
And man, how are these guys that good at these like cinematic trailers? Like. Both trailers they have done, and I don't know if it's the same people. That was what 8 years ago.
Yeah, it might not be. Who knows?
Might not be, but still, two just of the coolest trailers I've ever seen for a game. But yeah, I just was like rolling my eyes, like, you assholes, you're gonna do this to us again, and then they just at the last second dropped that gameplay, and so that was really cool.
Well, I think like in general, Deep Silver has always done a pretty good job at marketing and promoting their games, and whether that's coming from Saints Row, I think 3 was like really where they like I just remember it being everywhere, and granted, I did work with the person that ran the PR for it, and she was phenomenal, and she like hid dick jokes in the fucking press releases and like all sorts of stuff. But
That's awesome.
yeah, she's super cool. But you know, I think they almost they I think they had to, you know, prepare this and curate it to follow up, you know, the missing 8 years, and so I think they did exactly
That's probably
that.
when they came out with the new CG. Yeah,
I mean,
there's
they
probably a lot of
had
people who never saw the first one.
they had to
Right.
show gameplay today. They
Oh,
picked a very nice
Yeah.
stage to do it on, because like, man, I think I would have had different thoughts about it, or had like kind of a bad taste in my mouth. I think if they would have done it the like full Jeff Keighley way and went to like, you know, the Game Awards to do it or something. But I think they picked the perfect time, and they showed the right elements. And I think you're right. It looks sick. I love it.
Yeah.
No, it
looks
does.
really good.
I think part of the reason I am so interested in it, I mean, I always get drawn into like zombie games and like post apocalyptic stuff, anyways. But I'm a big fan of the Dying Light games, and part of I liked Dying Light 2, but part of the reason I liked Dying Light 1 a little bit more was it was a little bit goofier, a little bit sillier, a little bit more over the top with like the kills and like the weapons that you could make like a shovel and wrap like barbed wire around it and make it electrocute, like have like electricity running through it. And it didn't quite have that goofiness factor as much in 2. And it looks like Dead Island 2 is just going back to its roots of just being that way over the top, like it's badass, but it's also like got its silliness to it as well. So yeah. Dude, it's man, can't wait for that. And dear God, like early 2023 is just stacked too. Like of all, like just another massive game dropping in that early quarter of 2023. So it's gonna be
I think
like, I don't even know how we're gonna spend our money on all those games that are coming out in that early few months.
Yeah, I think isn't Destiny 2 rolling out like a massive like overhaul of their campaigns as well for February 2023.
I totally missed that today because I was so busy with other things. But yeah, I know they announced a lot of stuff today.
I thought it was just an expansion, but I kind of
I think it's like the full big
expansion.
Yeah, they also have a hook shot, so I might actually have to finally play more Destiny.
Brett's in now. There's a hook shot. Brett's sold.
That's you're in.
There could be like a 2 out of 10 game they added to hook shot. Brett's like, $60. I'm fucking buying it.
Bionic Commando, Xbox 360. Go play it.
There you go.
Exactly. But so we got to Brett. Did anyone else say their favorite announcement, or did you guys just go off on a tangent?
All right, we just talked about Dead Island.
Yeah, just go about this game for 5 minutes.
What was your favorite announcement from Gamescom?
Ooh, that's tough. I had to watch it, you know, after the fact, but you know, looking at everything, I would say Dead Island as well. Just because like I played the first one. It surprised me. It was like a you know, RPG that really, like, I loved, like, you know, getting new gear, searching, you know, suitcases, finding stuff, and you know, creating new weapons. But I don't know, Liza P looks like just like
Liza P looks
the kind of weird horror and the combat and the like
you said
enemy
horror.
Designs.
I thought you said like evil whore.
Oh,
you evil whore!
It's a very popular genre.
Don't bring my mother into this conversation. No, I like that, like
own mom.
I like that dark, you know, kind of like alternate reality. Not so much steampunk, but like kind of like in the same vein as like Silent Hill, you know, where these like weird creatures exist and they're just, you know, just a bunch of different creatures strung together. And I don't know, it had like the dark, weird elements that I really liked, and I liked the kind of the premise of it, and someone taking, you know, a beloved character like that and turning it into this like weird, like, you know,
hang on, did you say
horror type game?
Did you give it the correct title whenever you said it? Lies of P? I mean, Lies of P?
Lies of P?
Lies of
I thought you might have said the movie title that's similar, Life of Pi.
Life of Pi.
Life
It's
of
'cause-
P.
Eric said he couldn't find it. I'm
Richard
like,
Life of Pi, that evil horror, Life of Pi.
Lies of P. That's a weird name.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, like
I-
apparently that's a central gameplay mechanic, the lying. The you, you
Oh, okay.
you like have to decide how you want to lie in different quests, and that will like affect, I guess, other quests or something, and eventually it affects your ending.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Your nose
But
grows
in
and you
this
can break it off and
instead of
stab
his
enemies
nose
with
grows.
it. Sick.
Instead of his nose growing, his dick grows in this, so it's different.
You had to take it there,
It's the
man.
opposite. That's the opposite part of the body.
Well, once it gets big enough,
It's
you can
the more
start using it
mature.
as a weapon,
Yeah.
as a hook
He
shot.
picks it up like a bat.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Like the grappling
That's
hook
awesome.
from Wind Waker. It wraps
Oh my
around
God.
the thing, and then you swing.
Did
Anyway,
you guys
we're
see
chill.
the big boss enemy at the end of the trailer? They had like a little it wasn't like a post credit scene or whatever, but it was like at the very tail end of it, and they cut off before it
It's
got
like-
closer. But I was just like, yeah, big
It's
boss
like
battle like
mechanical.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks. Yeah, I saw a trailer for this. Like, I don't know if Brett remembers. I sent him a video. I was like, "Dude, this looks so cool," and it was like, I don't know, 6 months to a year ago, and very, very early on. And even back then, I was like, "This looks cool." So when I heard this was coming to Gamescom, I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I can't wait for this game." However, Souls-like, and that fucking destroyed me when I heard that, because I want to play this so badly, and that. I know it's just going to ruin the fun for me, unfortunately.
You could try it though, because it's on Game Pass, so you won't have to like. It's not like you're gonna break the bank to try it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
maybe it'll have a baby mode you can play.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, the thing that gives me hope on that is
Baby.
technically Jedi Fallen Order is the Souls-like, and that had an easy mode, and I loved Jedi
Yeah.
Fallen Order.
Dude, Jedi Fallen Order's easy mode was so easy that it aggravated me more than the normal mode, so I went back to normal.
Well, I
'cause it
would
was
play
so
on normal.
easy.
I would play on normal, but if there was a part that I died on like 5 times in a row, I'm like, screw this. I'm just gonna go to easy, get past this, go back to normal. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to spend an hour doing the same part over and over and over
Yeah,
and over and over.
your time is precious.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's the thing about this genre. It's never the challenge. Like, never the challenge. I love the challenge.
Right.
I love fighting them. It's taking me back so far and making me do a bunch of busy work to get back to the boss. I can't stand it. I hate it.
The checkpoints
And now,
are awful. Yeah.
this game, hopefully there's some type of checkpoint system to just at least let me like have a checkpoint right before the boss. That's all I ask for. But a lot of these games don't have it. Like, that's why I've never beaten Bloodborne. It's not because I don't have the skill, it's because I don't have the patience. And that's kind of part of it. I'll be honest, that's part of it. But I'm not going to keep dying and just getting back to this like boss, and it's going to take like 5 minutes every single time to get back to him. No.
The only thing that I didn't like about what I saw was the camera. Like, if any of you played like The Evil Within, I think they added a field of view slider like way like after the game released. And if the camera's like too close to the character, like it just kills it for me. I don't know, it feels constricting. It feels like I can't see the rest of the world. Like I want to be able to, play it at, a custom angle or, visibility where I can, see the world, see my character, and have like better like spatial awareness. But if it's too close up and it looks like it might be locked into a point where it looks like almost like your character's not moving and you're on rails a little bit, and I hate the way that feels, and it kind of gave me some of those vibes from this trailer. But hopefully it's just what they've shown so far, and more more lies ahead.
Nice. Lies ahead.
I got it.
But guys, there's a lot of great looking Souls-like games coming out. We got that Wukong. Or no, we haven't actually seen game.
Black Myth.
Wukong, Black
right?
Myth. We've seen gameplay of that, but not Wukong. But like Wukong still looks awesome, and then now this looks awesome, and I know there's more that I'm forgetting. Yeah, these games are not going anywhere, so I just need to learn how to accept them and try and get over it, play it, have the patience.
I'll just continue ignoring them, and my life will be fine.
Yeah, that's unfortunately. I think that's.
It's kind of hard because like so many of these games visually, it's like this is some of the most AAA stuff we're getting. Like it looks incredible, and it's like, man, I want to play this. And then when I play it, I'm like, I don't know. I'll just go play Danganronpa or something.
I would give Elden Ring a try for free.
Yeah,
for free.
Same.
For free.
You just know that ultimately you're going to get to that one boss that's going to kill you 10 times in a row, and it's going to be like, this isn't fun to me. It's not. And like Brett said, it's the time sink thing. Like, not that my time is any more or less precious than anyone else's, but like, I have a full-time job and I have 2 kids and a wife. So like, I only have so many hours a day I can even play video games. Mm-hmm. And I usually do it at night when I'm sacrificing sleep time. I should be sleeping because I have to be up at 6:30 in the morning. So like, to me, in that little time I have to play during the week, I don't want to spend it dying on the same part 14 times in a row and not progressing at all, and going into the next day knowing that I'm picking up in the same spot that I died at 10 times the night before. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't play.
I was gonna say, you're right. That's subjective, like to everybody. You know, that's what you value your time as, and like, you know, even for, you know, maybe there is another person out there that says like, you know, I want to feel like I achieved something, and beating a big boss battle was worth it.
But my thing that I've always said with this, and I don't know why developers haven't gone this route yet, is why does it hurt them or the people that love this genre to just make an easy mode? Like, it doesn't, if the people that love the difficulty and love the long checkpoints, it doesn't hurt them knowing that there's someone else out there that's doing it on an easier mode or with closer checkpoints. You know, why not make that an option for someone like myself that they would make more money if they made a mode that's easier for someone that refuses to play those games like me because of the way it is right now. You know,
I mean,
it's always bothered me.
I've seen both sides of this, and it's like, it's hard to say if an easy mode would help or hurt the game. Like, people loved Elden Ring because of the fact that everyone was going out in this world and having different but like similar experiences all around. Like, the same challenge was there, and everyone's experience was different, but no matter what, like, you're just gonna have to get good, and that's part of like the game. Like, the creator said, like, the struggle that you're having, that is the game. Like, that's part of what they're intending people to feel. And if they get rid of that, they're getting rid of like the heart of the game. Like, that's what makes it what it is. But at the same time, I get what you're saying as well. It's like, it wouldn't hurt anyone. Like, why not have it come like 6 months after launch, like an easier mode? I just want a checkpoint mode. That's all I want. Just a checkpoint mode. Don't change the difficulty. Keep the same challenge. Checkpoint.
I was gonna say too, easy mode is still going to be challenging for some people. You know, normal mode is like insane level difficulty for some. Easy mode is still going to be a challenge for some people because there's just different levels of gamers out there. Let's face it. You know, I mean, I have friends who, some are more casual, some are trying a new style game. It's just not clicking with them. They lower the difficulty. They're like, I'm still having a really hard time on easy. And I'm like, that's okay though, you know, like, it's okay to be challenged, you know, by a game, even on like the easy setting. So I don't think it ruins
for sure
that, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, I see both sides, but how do we get on this? What were we oh yeah, so who's next? We're talking about getting John, what was your favorite thing from Gamescom?
We can't risk Mary being last, okay?
I was gonna do Eric.
Got offended.
Well, I'll say, but mine's also Lies of P. So I mean, so like, and the only thing I really have to add to that is like, I don't usually play Souls. Like, I've started a couple, I've never finished them, just because like maybe I just wasn't playing them at like the right time, you know. I just wasn't clicking with them. This is gonna be on Game Pass, so I'm not gonna be out $60. But I really, really liked what I saw today. And like, maybe it's because I have BioShock on the brain right now, but like the steampunky elements kind of gave me BioShock vibes. And then when they were talking about like the lies, the manipulation, I was like, this could go really interesting with the story, because BioShock had like some of the biggest like twists and turns, like in my opinion, that as far as like games go with the story. And I'm like, I think they could hit that level of like just unexpected, like, oh shit, like that just happened, you know. So that one's definitely on my I really want to check it out.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks really cool, and I think it's gonna be a big hit if the quality of the game is like good with it being on Game Pass. I think this could be like a huge hit for Microsoft. Like, let's face it, they've done a poor job at choosing Game Pass like AAA games to go after. They did that Ubisoft game that everyone already forgot about, the Extinction or something, or no,
oh Jesus, that was a shit show. I think it was
Rainbow
Extinction.
Six,
Rainbow
Extraction.
Six Extinction.
Oh,
Extraction.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, there was that. There was
That
Back
was
for
out.
Blood. Back for Blood was good for like a day, and then everyone forgot about it really fast. That was probably really expensive. I'd say like
Kind of like Halo Infinite.
their best bet. No, Halo Infinite. I still play that every day. But their best bet was probably MLB. Like, a lot of people love that and are
Right.
still playing it. And so
That
yeah,
game made by Sony.
the Sony game.
Yep.
So yeah, I think they really need a win with choosing a AAA game for Game Pass to outright purchase to have on their service, like to buy from a third party. And I think this and Wukong will end up being big hits, and especially after. Did you guys hear that noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was just me. Especially after like how we saw Elden Ring blow up. Like, I could picture that happening again with another game. But anyway. Who was left? John, you never said your favorite.
Yeah.
I didn't either,
Mine.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, but you're patient, you're humble, you're keeping yourself for last.
Exactly. I always keep myself for last.
The game that most stuck out to me was one that like none of us knew about, Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet. It's from
Where Winds
apparently
Meet.
Everstone Games, which I'm gonna just go ahead and guess they're a Chinese developer because the game is set in medieval China. And
Oh yeah.
I did some Googling. I didn't see anything about a publisher, but I saw like an old like it might have been like a trademark or something for the name Where Winds Meet, and it was registered to NetEase. So the odds are good that NetEase is publishing this game, and of course they're a Chinese giant. But yeah, this game just looks like really nice. It's kind of like a medieval China Ghost of Tsushima with like a little bit of like Assassin's Creed agility thrown in.
Mhm.
And it's just like it's beautiful to just stare at. Like, I mean, that's kind of a weird running theme with these Chinese games. They all just happen to look like the biggest budget AAA games from the West. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what secret sauce these Chinese developers have, but like they know how to work a graphics engine. So like, yeah, that just looks really pretty, and I guess like details are hard to come by. The only place I saw with like actual details was IGN in this case. And
Right.
IGN was saying that you're gonna actually
The open world. I saw that.
yeah, so it's set during the 10 Kingdoms period at the end of the Southern Tang Dynasty. I don't know what that is, but sure, good for them. That's great. And apparently you'll be able to pick a side in the war, and you'll sort of kind of get to choose like a profession of sorts as well. So like they gave these examples of you can become a doctor or a merchant, or you can just be like an aimless wanderer, and like that all sounds fun. And I guess there's like a
it
mix
sounds
and
like a lot of
match.
freedom.
Yeah, even in the combat system, apparently you can like mix and match like sword fighting or martial arts, tai chi, and even magic. Like it's just like a giant mishmash of like let them do everything, but in China. And like so far so good. Like I'm really impressed with it, and it's nice that this was like an actual surprise. It's not something anyone knew about.
This is
like,
a real world premiere, Jeff.
Yeah.
Right. This was actually a world premiere.
Yeah.
It was such
premiere.
it was such a premiere that it was hard to find any details on the game. So
Yeah.
maybe IGN
Hey,
got an exclusive or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
John, I wrote down 2 games from games that I hadn't heard about before this that interested me. One of them was Scars Above, which is that Returnal looking game, and the other one was Where Winds Meet. And initially, I was worried that Where Winds Meet was a Souls game because the combat kind of looked like
Because
it could
they
be.
all are Souls games.
Like
now.
everything has to be a Souls game now. But from everything that I'm reading now, it looks like it's actually
It's not a Souls game.
it's
I
an
see the
action-
gameplay
it's
right
an
now.
Action RPG, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what we were talking about earlier when I said there are no more traditional action games. Here's one. There is one.
There you go.
Oh, but this looks fantastic. I'm totally in on this game. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if you watch the footage, there's a lot going on. You can wall run, you can like triple jump and then shoot an arrow in the air. I saw him running on water at one point.
Yeah, the run on water looked really cool.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
so
get to do that so often.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just not
and
enough
I was-
pizza
I was-
simulators.
Yeah.
I was today years old when I found out that John Frisha has not played Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm so disappointed in you.
Don't
Well,
worry,
you
you're
know-
not missing nothing.
No,
It's
you're just
funny.
listening right on this. It is amazing.
For the
So
longest
good.
time, I just wasn't interested in the same sense of like, oh, it's another open world game. Like, good for the people that enjoy it. I just don't have interest. But at the Escapist, where I happen to work, I have a very nice, very talented writer who he wrote an article just. I don't even remember what it was about, but just like the angle he took to the game that I thought was so interesting that ever since I've actually wanted to play the game. So whenever there's like a good sale on the director's cut, I've planned to finally buy it.
Yeah,
It's just a cheap knockoff of Trek to Yomi. Go play that instead.
do not listen to this guy.
That must be true.
One of the things you said about where winds meet reminded me of Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, a lot of it reminds me, but you can like switch fighting styles depending on what kind of. That's one thing I love. Brett didn't like that much, but depending on what type of enemy you fight, you switch the fighting styles. You switch your stance and fighting style. And I thought that was really unique, and it made it kind of fun. So you're always switching it up depending on who you're fighting. So that's something that I thought was unique about that game, and changed it up a little bit.
That's cool. Yeah, when it comes to Ghost of Tsushima, it's not actually the gameplay I'm that interested in. I'm more interested in like the story and the world. And I think in the period between the time that the game was announced and within the past 6 to 9 months, I actually watched a bunch of Kurosawa movies. So like my brain is kind of like more trained to want that stuff than it was before. So it's like, now it lines up better.
Yeah, it's beautiful too. Like some of the most fun I've ever had with them, photo mode ever. It's really pretty.
I have so many like really good screenshots.
Cool.
Now, let's talk about my favorite thing from the show.
Yes.
I do want to shout out Under the Waves, revealed by Quantic Dream and Parallel Studio. This was a very moody, indie-ish Brett Larson style game.
Yes.
I was really digging this, and it's cool seeing Quantic publish some games, since they can't seem to finish or make anything lately with apparently Star Wars being in a development hell, and they can't find anyone to work on it. Anyway, aside from that, Lies of P looks really awesome. And there's one more that I'm forgetting that I'm trying to find on this list. Oh, yeah. What, Brett?
I was going to say, is it that Scars Above? You were saying you thought that was cool, too. The game that kind of looks like Returnal.
Yeah, that definitely looks really good. But I also wanted to shout out a similar in style, in style, but not in like gameplay. The Expanse game from Telltale. This is the first time we've seen like a lot of gameplay. We might have seen a little bit before. It makes me want to watch the show because this is definitely like Telltale is not the same Telltale, but apparently it has some workers as the old Telltale. And if they actually are making games that run properly and have that same like kick in the nuts when it comes to the story, like this could be really good. And graphically, it's easily Telltale's best looking game, along with The Wolf Among Us 2, which they revealed a while back and looked really good graphically. So I'm like really excited for the future of that studio, and I really hope they can come back with these two games and they like be really awesome. Because I was talking to Brett. I was talking to Brett over the years, and I'm like, I'm just kind of over that style of game. I played all the Telltale games. And by the end of it, like with like Life is Strange and stuff, I was like, I don't picture myself ever wanting to play these styles of games anymore. But now I'm sort of feeling like I want to again. Like I played through As Dusk Falls recently, and I was like, I sort of missed just like a story game. Like you're basically just watching it and doing very little gameplay. I sort of missed it. So now I'm very excited for the future of Telltale. But let's be honest, Lies of P was the coolest thing we saw from there because it was new-ish. Like we already saw it and like back in the day, but this is like a significant trailer, and it looked really awesome. Along with Callisto Protocol and Hogwarts, which I think.
Oh, Callisto, it looks great. Yeah, the Expanse really quickly, like I think I need to go back and try that show again, because like it gets like, if you look up the reviews and like critics and user reviews are like through the roof on this show. And I tried 2 years ago to get into it, probably watched 4 episodes, and it just wasn't grabbing me. But I think I need to go back and watch it again, because like, just like you said, like watching some of this, like I didn't realize how much of like, they had a lot of horror elements, not horror elements. Like
Horror
that shot
elements.
was
slutty elements.
Lots of
That
sex
shot where
scenes.
that shot where she walks in and there's like all the heads lined up in that like tube or whatever, like the people that have gotten murdered and beheaded, like that shit looks awesome. So it makes, just seeing that makes me want to go back and watch the show and give it another shot, because like I said, I've always heard it's great. So
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, our film critic at The Escapist, I want to say he and I think 2 of our guys actually interviewed the writers that like created the Expanse series. Like they did a video interview like a year or 2 ago. And they're good people.
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah,
John name dropping again.
yeah, John,
Oh, I
quit
do.
plugging your website.
How dare you?
That's why you're on this show that gets so many views, because you just want to plug your.
Hi, John Frisha, the indie developer and writer over at Escape.
You guys want to hear about the time I met the creator of Kingdom Hearts again?
Yes, let's go ahead and tell.
Yeah.
No, it's all
I don't know. I think the thing with Telltale was like, it was just like too much too soon. Like it just, every
took on too
time we
many
turn
projects.
around, yeah, we were getting something new from him, all in the same vein, and it was like, no, no wonder. And I get it, them as a developer, continuing to make money to fund, new projects to. I mean, they were they were riding a pretty high horse for a long time, but they just, you can't, work your team like that. And then, they had Stories of Crunch coming out, and all these projects were getting the Telltale treatment. And then, but now I feel like, it's the perfect time to start slowly feeding us these again, especially after, Life is Strange, had such huge success. And there is, I don't think like Life is Strange would exist, or those types of games, without the help of Telltale, launching those like, narrative style, decision making, point and click, style games, as far as they've gone. But I don't know. I think, yeah, to this degree for the Expanse, we're kind of ready to get something different than, first person looter shooters or battle royale games, or Souls-like games. This is at least offering some variety to the scene. So
Yeah, and 2 more things about this. The facial animations look actually really good, like way above anything Telltale, and in general, so many AAA games come out nowadays and still don't look anywhere near as good as something like Uncharted 1 on PS3. Like they still look absolutely abysmal. So I'm glad a game like this is very narrative heavy went and took their time and made the faces look really good. And the second thing is, speaking of Life is Strange, Deck 9 Games is working on this with Telltale, and they did a few Life is Strange games. They did Before the Storm, and then I think one more after that, or they helped out with one more after that. But I played Before the Storm, and it was really good, like really, really good. So I'm excited for The Expanse. I'm definitely gonna watch the show. Like I feel like this game gives me a reason to finally watch that, because I keep hearing amazing things about it. But yeah, are you guys ready to get on to what we're playing?
Well,
Let's get it on.
I was trying to think if there was like any more just random cool Gamescom things. And
Yeah,
there
like
was one.
announcements.
There was
Look at
one,
my
but now
What was it? You forgot.
this is one that I don't actually care about, because like I never watched the movie, but it is hilarious that all of a sudden there's a Killer Clowns game.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
from outer
yeah.
space.
Killer
Yeah.
Clowns
It's
from
so
outer space,
random.
the game.
Well, like,
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be like a Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
style
it
game.
is. People are
So
already
I probably won't
disappointed.
give a shit about it.
Stupid. Whatever happened to
But
horror?
That's
Horror.
kind of cool, though.
It's a
Whore.
dying genre, the horror genre.
One more thing to shout out from the showcase. Gotham Knights, I'll be honest, I've been talking shit on it pretty much since it was announced, but the latest trailer was actually really good, and we finally saw like Harley Quinn and Clayface, Mr. Freeze, so that was really cool.
John's like, meh.
Well, I'm met to Harley Quinn because she's in everything. I couldn't care less about her.
But here's the thing,
Clayface
John, this is why I didn't expect that, because as we know, the Suicide Squad game is coming out, and I thought that maybe they didn't want to use any of those characters that were in that game in Gotham Knights, since it's like a different universe and whatnot, and it's two developers who have had a weird history together. Like, a WB Montreal made Arkham Origins, and then they just act like it doesn't exist when they do like the packaging and then the posts on Facebook. It seemed like Rocksteady and WB. It felt like Rocksteady was kind of irked at the fact that they made an Arkham game, and I don't know. So I just didn't know. I didn't think that they would be allowed to use Harley Quinn right now in their game because they're about to release Suicide Squad next year. But yeah, I thought it looked really good. Graphically, looked better as well. I don't know, but I also just feel like lately I've been seeing a lot of AAA games that it's like the graphics just don't look how I expected AAA graphics to look by now. Like, we're 2 years into the PS5 and Series X generation, and most of these games still look like mid-gen PS4 and Xbox One games, like with Saints Row and now Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Yeah, but with good load times, so
right.
But still not what was expected. Like, I expected a little more instant load times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with first party games, it's very, very obvious.
Much faster.
It's like literally like snap of a finger on some games. But I was gonna say with Gotham Knights, I've always said, like, from the beginning, like, because it never looked amazing, but like the example I always use, and you guys have all probably heard me say this by now, but like I always kind of like try and compare it to Far Cry 6. Like with Far Cry 6, when we saw trailers and gameplay footage and stuff like that, nothing ever stood out to me as that looking impressive visually. It just looked like a whatever. And then the first night I put that in and played it, I was like, holy shit. I
played it the same night.
Unbelievable.
I was like, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's still to this day is like one of the most impressive games and you would never know that by a trailer. So
not the character models. Let's be clear.
The character models, sure. But even like you would never know that by the gameplay footage, trailers and stuff like that. So my hope is that Gotham Knights it's the same kind of thing. You just need to get your hands on it and play it, and it's going to be a different experience. One thing I wanted to say that there was a line that I thought was funny from gosh, what's that game? The funny game from Xbox that's coming out? It's the Life
High on
phase.
Life.
High on Life.
Oh my god.
The boss fight. There was one part when he goes, I'll cut their fucking asshole off and eat it. What? The hell?
That game looks fun as hell, dude. That seems like another really good Game Pass pick for Microsoft. Like, now they're starting to make better choices.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of those sneaky games where at the end of the year, it's like that could be like a potential nominee. I don't think it'll win Game of the Year, but it could be a contender.
I just love it because, like, I've fallen in love with the comedy from like Solar Opposites and Rick and Morty, and I didn't think I was going to be a fan of that type of comedy, and I'm like, gosh damn it! And then now I'm like looking forward to this game, and I was just thinking about it the other day too, which is funny.
I wasn't looking forward to it until today when I was like, okay, like, because I'm usually hit and miss with this type of humor. But I was actually laughing at the dialogue, and I was like, I actually think this is really funny. Maybe I should play a little bit of it, you know.
Also, I like that art style, like the really like pretty colors, vibrant.
Yeah.
It kind of has like a polish to it. I don't know how to describe it, but I like that art style a lot.
It's pretty amazing though. Like if you look at each one of the different properties that he has his hands on and creates, and like, how long they've been in development, even the shows, like how long ago they were written. Like, they all look like they exist in the same universe, and you can tell that they're his creations. But then if you start to look at like, or like listen to the dialogue in the show, or the way characters are designed, or how different they are, or some of like the plot schemes and mechanics, and it's just like, I feel like this is going to be, like Mary said, it's different, but it's still like a fresh take on this type of game, and just I don't know, it offers something different amongst all the same, like again, the same types of games that continue to come out. The battle royales, the first person shooters, the Souls like this is something that like the what is it, the Outer Worlds, I always want to say Outer Wilds, but
Outer Wilds and Outer Worlds.
yeah. But
Both
like
spacey
it's something, like something fun that still keeps like the first person shooter as its like foundation, but offers something a little bit silly that you don't have to take too damn seriously and just have fun with.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff coming out. Like let's take a moment to appreciate what 2023 is about to be, because it's going to be probably the biggest year in gaming if all these games actually come out. Like Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me succinctly summarize. It'll be Breath of the Wild 2 and those other things.
Yeah, exactly. But it's insane. Like even the first half of the year, there are so many games. I need to put together a list of like just how many games have been announced for the first half. Like Resident Evil 4 remake. We're getting probably Spider-Man 2 at some point next year. It's so many that are all escaping me at this second. But
yeah,
it always ends up this way.
Now Hogwarts.
Remember,
it'll probably be Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's coming
remember,
too.
January and February of this year were crazy too.
Yeah, and then it slowed down.
Shit, and then it slowed down to the point where I'm playing like random games in my backlog that I never thought I'd play and enjoying, but like that's how slow it got,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, though, if you're an Xbox gamer, there's not much to look forward to in any month in this entire year. Like,
What do you mean?
Or
play
any
Xbox
year
every
for that.
day. What are you talking about? There's so much going out.
Like, I don't know,
Well,
man.
Infinite
It seems
stuff?
like
No?
times are tough.
No.
Dude, I would say I agree, but man, I only play my Xbox lately. In Xenoblade,
Really?
like I don't even turn on my PS5 in like months.
You'll let
It's
me
been
have
a
it.
while since I turned my PS5 on.
Because you're a hater.
I've been
Well-
playing like Switch pretty exclusively lately.
Yeah.
It's honestly crazy what
this year, yeah.
it's crazy what switching your main platform does, because like I used to only play my PS4 and never touch my Xbox One because I play all my third-party games on PS4, but now I play all third-party stuff mostly on Xbox, so I'm mainly playing my Xbox, and every once in a while when an exclusive game comes out or I go halvesies with Brett is when I'll finally play my PS5. So it's just funny, like back then I was thinking the PS4 is so much better, but it's like I was mostly playing games that were on both of them, like if I'm being honest. But yeah. Anyway, what are you guys playing, Greg?
Me? Right now, continuing to play my huge. A little bit of Apex, a little bit of Rocket League.
I'm gonna buy you a game. I'm gonna buy you a goddamn game, Greg. What do I need to do?
I have too much of a backlog.
He's like, don't, I won't play it.
Yeah, so I've sunk quite a few hours. It's become my nightly routine now. Like, I used to stay up playing Apex and jumping in match after match, which I'm still doing. I'm still making good progress this season. But I've been playing Astral Chain, and God, man, I almost feel bad because I waited so long and put it off for so long, but I don't think I would have appreciated it as much if I wouldn't have played it right now, where I was like looking for this type of adventure, this type of gameplay. A lot of the combat elements, like it finally started to click with me, and I'm like, chaining attacks and using my Legion and, mixing up weapons like mid battle. So I'm meleeing, then I'm shooting, and then I'm unlocking new stuff and leveling up, different ways. But the only thing I will say is like, fuck that Beast Legion is the most like awful like walking mechanic in the game. I think it feels so clunky, feels stupid, and like I don't like the exploration levels with it, but I do like the story overall. I have skipped a lot of dialogue just because I think it's like a little
Greg.
Yeah,
come on.
I think
We've all agreed.
predictive,
We've all agreed the only dialogue worth skipping is Sonic games. Come on.
Oh, I was going to say an Xbox
breaking my
game,
heart
but
there.
you-
No, I
that
think it's
too.
it's too easy to predict where it's going in a lot of ways, but and I hate that they take the the training wheels off so far in the game where they finally let loose and you get a lot more combat elements. Like I felt like a lot of the combat would have been better, closer to the beginning of the game rather than, hours into it and then you're starting to get full use of some of your combos and stuff and I didn't like that as much. And the same thing with the exploration, like some of the cases, like I don't know, I wish there was a little bit more freedom. Like the part where you're at the hospital was just like, oh, I wanted to claw my eyes out. Like I don't want to talk to these fucking doctors. Like I don't want, I started taking random pictures in photo mode around and like yeah, you could unlock stuff and like, close out certain side quests that you're supposed to get. But some of those areas I was just like, God, let this be over now, please. And it feels a little clunky at times in the
I never
exploration
felt
portions.
any of this. I'm just dying over here listening to all
Well,
this.
it's because you're too biased, Brett. It's okay.
I was just like,
But-
you know what? There's this game. No one's talking about it. Let me get a review copy. I play it, and it's so good that I don't know what to do with myself. I would have
I'll
given
admit
it
it.
a
It
10,
is good.
but then everyone thought I was
say,
crazy.
I'd probably say at this point it's worth a 7.5.
Oh,
There's a lot more to be
Out of
desired
town.
from a lot of the combat elements and
I was
and
waiting for the just
exploration.
kidding.
No.
It's a 7 out of 10. Are you kidding me? It's
Hey,
the
you
best
played
game
it
of
too
that
close
year.
to the Switch's release. You were fiending. You were starved of content.
Game came
for
out
the
like
Switch.
2019.
Yeah.
2 years after the
but yeah,
Switch came out. I already lived in this house. What?
But yeah, 7.5.
No,
Probably
you're
even
lying.
now. It is beautiful though, in a lot of the
Pretty,
art
really
style.
pretty,
I think
yeah.
speaks to kind of the overall visual presentation. I think they were very smart in the way they did it. I've only noticed some small frame rate dips here and there, like when. I don't like some of the portions too where combat feels so constrictive. You're in these like close quarters, but it's almost like too hard to fight multiple enemies in such a small space. I wish they would have opened a lot of the sections up, especially the exploration, to be a little bit more free. But overall, I do like I love the fact that it lives on the Switch. Even though it is a 7.5 game, I do love the fact that it lives on the Switch.
I can tell by the way you're talking that you're looking at me, waiting for me to react.
Eric,
No,
can you
I'm
mute
serious
him?
though. Like
I'll say
I-
unplug his microphone.
I think I don't think the experience would have been special if it lived on other platforms outside of it. And
Oh my God,
if
you're
that day does
lying.
eventually come,
He's lying.
I'm not lying, dude.
You're
I'm giving
lying, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm giving my honest opinion about a
Dude,
game
I'm
that I'm
telling you-
playing right now.
Best Switch games list goes Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astral Chain, Breath of the Wild. That's the top 3 games.
Okay,
You're
all
insane.
In that
now
order,
Now I know
okay?
you've lost your mind too. I love it, but it is not Breath of the Wild in this area. Come on.
Oh, I like it more than
But
Breath of the Wild for sure.
It does have my
Yeah.
full attention right now. I've even set down Xenoblade to. I've watched some of your stream, Mary. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm missing out on, and then I went back to playing Astral
Spoilers.
Chain and, but I mean it's good enough where it is I'll play for 1 to 2 hours a night and I'm chipping away at it and I'm opening a case file one day and then closing it down the next day and I'm only missing 1 or 2 things and I'm like yeah I could go back and maybe finish up the rest of this or whatever, but I do like the character interactions. I wish there was a little bit more customization for female hairstyles because like there's a little bit more to be desired there. But overall, I feel like it's a very solid 7.
I'm waiting for it. 7.5.
I'm serious. That is my genuine
okay,
feeling about it. At this
Okay,
point.
well, I
Unless
like
something
having.
dramatically changes, or like I'm like, oh, this fucking.
You should look
blew my
inward
mind.
and dramatically change.
You haven't
But,
even
I'm gonna go
talked
find
about-
myself.
You barely
but-
talked about one of the best things about the game, and that's the combat. It is some of the most satisfying
Yeah.
combat of
Yeah.
any game I've ever played. It's so satisfying to play.
And
Yeah,
you're
I
playing
do
as
like
two
it,
different
like-
things at
your
once.
Legion.
Yeah, I do
Were you
like
what
it. It
aspect?
finally started to click, especially like the points where you're, like a level up my Arrow Legion, and I'll use my sword legion and then back out, and like different enemies I'll change types. But I do like, that you get to the point where you can do like multiple perfect calls, and where you're comboing with one, like you're shooting at them, and then you have your legion call come in, and then maybe switch weapons and attack another side of your enemy, and then you do like multiple perfect calls in a row, and it does like this badass like streamed combo. And like those are the points where I feel like yeah, this should have been much sooner in the game to experience this type of combat. And especially the different enemy types. I do like the variety. As the game continues on, I don't feel like you're ever like, oh, this is this enemy type, and there's like 15 of them, and you got to kill them all, and then move to the next one, and there's just 15 more of the same enemy types. But it kind of mixes it up to the point where you're like, oh, sweet, this big boss I've never even seen before, or this wolf-looking creature, or this giant one that's like filling up the entire screen, and I'm just chipping away at its arms and trying to get to its head, or whatever. I feel like a lot of those set pieces are enemies, and it feels very fleshed out in terms of combat. I do agree there.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
And it made me
everyone's
pick up my
allowed-
Switch again. Amazing.
give us an update next week and see if you feel any different. Maybe you'll be a lot smarter next week. No, but I mean, it's
Maybe
cool that
you have 7.5 choice.
that you have more critiques than I did. My main critique was, of course, it was involving voice acting, which was,
Oh, this is same as me. It drove
if
me
you
nuts.
chose a boy, the girl sister talks the whole game, and if you chose the sister, the boy talks the whole game, but they never actually talk to each other. And it's like, why?
So you're a silent
Very
protagonist, but they clearly have a voice actor for male and female. So why the fuck didn't they record dialogue for both, no matter
Just talking to each other.
Yeah, that part was
Why?
frustrating.
It annoyed me
The
so
excuse,
much.
the excuse is always like, we want the player to feel like that person. I don't want to be that person. I want to
Yeah, I
watch
wanna play
a
as a person
story.
that
I
has
want to
some
watch
voice.
characters. I don't have to
Yeah.
put myself in the shoes of this anime dude and go kill monsters in the freaking metaverse or whatever they're at, the astral plane.
Not to get on the PlayStation thing, but that's part of what made Uncharted special was Nathan Drake's charm, like his charisma, like him talking. If he was a silent protagonist, that game wouldn't be near what it was.
Dude, Fire Emblem Three Hopes, Shez, the main character, so much better than Byleth because they actually have a personality. Byleth's just a silent protagonist that says nothing. It's like, what?
The gloves
Who
come
are
off.
you? What are you thinking,
Mary's about to
Byleth?
rip you a
Tell
new
someone.
one.
Mary,
There's
how do you
kind
like
of a
Byleth?
reason though. Like
No.
I
have to
I'm
say
not
it-
gonna rant about this.
No, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
No,
The only
'cause,
thing
like,
worse is
Ding,
Norman
ding,
like,
Reedus'
it's part
dumb
of like
face
Violet
in
being
Death
so
Stranding.
stoic.
Norman
Like
Reedus.
that's Violet as a character is like a very stoic person, and
But never talks? Like, come on. He'll say something during combat. What is it? I can't remember.
They'll say like
He'll say
They'll have,
words
like, a
in
line of
combat like,
dialogue.
I'll get you, but not that. Like something cooler
Yeah,
than that.
Also, I just want
or-
to point out a comment from our Twitch chat. The
Yes,
Brett is shitting on
yes.
silent protagonist, but ranks Breath of the Wild as number 3 Switch game.
Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Hypocrite.
Link
You giant
talk.
hypocrite.
Link talks. He makes you do dialogue choices. He's talking. He's not
you
just
do with
literally
Violet too.
Violet. Okay, that's the same. But
Right, you
Astral
could admit you're
Chain-
wrong. It's okay.
Astral Chain, this dude, people are talking to him, and he's just staring at them like, like, but doesn't doesn't even hum, He doesn't say anything at all. But yeah,
I was gonna bring up another comment from TikTok, and it was in quotes, playing a bit of Apex, Greg. From Bright Dude.
no,
He knows.
let's not. No,
He knows.
if Greg played something different. We're not talking about Apex this week.
Playing a bit
Yeah,
of
I
Apex.
can't help that I'm a great sniper in Apex.
No, but I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild is good not because of Link's dialogue, but like Astral Chain actually has like a lot of dialogue, a lot of character interactions. Like the main character should be talking. Breath of the Wild is hours and hours of just open world and no like talking. So I don't. It just feels different to me. But either way, I mean, I guess that's a little contradictive of me, but
Can I ask something though without spoiling it, please?
yeah.
Does Astral Chain open up for the possibility of a sequel?
Honestly, I can't even remember. I feel like it does.
I mean, people have already been like floating the idea of a sequel for a while, so that would suggest that they left the door open for that.
It sold over 1 million units, which was good.
Yeah,
I feel like it has the potential to be something.
Dude, that's what I said on this show like a few weeks ago when we were talking about. We talk about this game all the time, like more than any other podcast for sure. But I was saying, like, as I was playing it for the review, I'm just like, man, this is gonna be huge. Like, this is gonna get TV shows and anime. It's gonna get a bunch of sequels. And then it came out and it reviewed well, but like not enough people talked about it. It just sort of fizzled out of it. Yeah, it just fizzled. So I was like, man, that sucks. I really thought it was gonna be big.
I feel like a sequel is almost. I feel like a sequel is almost a must from Platinum Games that could maybe revive their name a little bit, because yes, Bayonetta is coming out, and depending on what happens with that could bring back some goodwill. But like, if Bayonetta hit and then they did an Astral Chain sequel and it hit, then maybe they can buy back some goodwill and like get back to being a reputable.
I think they
developer
still are.
again,
I think they're always going to be.
I mean, lately they're not that reputable, to be honest.
No,
they're begging for Microsoft to buy them. They put that game out that no one liked.
The Babylon's Fall, which had at one point one concurrent player, and it was a month after it came out. Like, they've been a dumpster fire lately, so they really need something.
They've always been kind of that way too. Like with what was it, Anarchy Reigns?
Oh,
it was like a $29 game, which it was decent, but it wasn't. It wasn't earth shattering, but I feel like, something Astral, I think we'll see Astral Chain 2 in 2 years, but I also feel like there's a lot they need to improve on and explore, including more open world style exploration.
No, linear better. No. But, now, damn it, what were we talking about? What were we just saying right before that? I had something good, and now it's gone.
Good. It was probably about Astral Chain.
Maybe it was about Platinum's vacillating quality.
Platinum. They have put their foot down, saying they're going to continue working on Babylon's Fall support for the one guy playing it. They're going to continue to develop content, and I just can't think, guys. Is this a money laundering scheme right now? Are they pretending that they're making money on this game, and they're actually drug dealers?
Dude, seriously, like, oh man. Yeah, they're in a bad way, but they've done some great things, so they can dig themselves back out. But they've got to act now, because they're going in a negative arc for sure right now.
Bayonetta 2, we've all agreed, is like so spectacular. Like, we're just banking on Bayonetta 3 being awesome, and
it has to be for them.
As long as Bayonetta 3 is fantastic, not. We're making that sound like that's a short order, but as long as it's fantastic, then like everyone will just be like, "Oh, classic Platinum." They can still knock out a banger while they also do weird, underwhelming crap.
Yeah.
So as long as Bayonetta is good, everything will be okay.
Platinum's life literally depends on Bayonetta 3 being good. Like, if it flops, they're done.
Well, here's its secret weapon.
No way.
It's in the horror genre.
The horror genre. that is a popular genre.
I feel like they don't really make a good game unless they have whoever's publishing it like direct them, like give them some like oversight or feedback on what they're doing. Because if you, I guess, like look at their track record. Like, they've always had like some big publisher that they've had success with, some of their hits. So maybe that's it. They're just fucking lost by themselves.
Babylon's Fall?
Yeah.
Didn't Square do Babylon's Fall?
They published it. Yeah.
But isn't that what he's saying? A major publisher is the times that they put out.
Well, Square's weird on their own. They
did do Balan.
Square is
Balan as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
What are they doing over there? Like, why?
For sure.
Shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Can't
getting rid of Tomb Raider for nickels and dimes. Like, what the hell are they doing over there?
Mary, any final thoughts on Platinum Games? I forgot their name for a second. before we finally get on to what we're playing or I finish off what we're playing.
This is part of the warp.
Yeah, this is technically a part of it.
This is just our sub segment on complaining about Platinum games.
Good for them for making content for the one dude.
He's having a good time. He really is.
There you go.
He's balling. He's just earning that EXP.
Ted in Minnesota. It's all for him.
Ted.
That's awesome.
Damn, Ted.
Bill.
Speaking of Ted,
really
John,
his
have
name?
you seen?
I forget.
John, have you seen them clips that turns Breaking Bad into a sitcom?
I haven't watched them. I like saw it in passing. Yeah, I need to watch.
You gotta watch the one with Ted whenever he's breaking into his office, like trying to like beat him up.
Oh, that
It's so
sounds
funny.
hilarious already. Cool.
But yeah. Now, who hasn't said what they're playing? Has anyone?
Like,
Everybody
what?
but John.
only
but
Greg.
Greg's the only
Only
one who's gone.
Greg.
Okay, Mary, what are you playing?
So I'm playing Xenoblade. Taking a quick break though, because I got scared of where I'm currently at. So I played some more Cult of the Lamb. But like I'm in love with Xenoblade right now. Like it's so good. And like I just got to the marsh area, which all of a sudden things are really high level and much stronger than me, and I got overwhelmed. But one of my friends was like, "Oh, it's a shame you're not here at night." And I thought that meant there's gonna be like spooky things and like big bad like things that come out at night. No, it's gorgeous. Like the trees light up.
Oh,
it's all
awesome.
glowy. Like I took screenshots of it. I was like, this is so pretty. And I was like, and this is a remastered Wii game. And it looks so nice.
Yep.
But yeah, I took a break whenever it was like, okay, here's a tower, and Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn has scarred me for life with towers and games. So I was like, I'm gonna put that one down for a bit and just go tend to my Cult and Cult of the Lamb, which is still really fun. I was playing it on Xbox, which is more buggy than the PC version. I have files on both now, but it's still really fun. There was a brief period where like I didn't even do like any combat or any runs. I was just so like tending to like my little base, you know, making sure my little cultists were fed, and like I was decorating, and I sank a lot of time into just making my base look good.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this game ended up being what like everything you dreamed.
Yeah, it's I am too. I was like, what if this game comes out and it flops and I hate it? Because I'm looking forward to this. Like I'm so hyped for it. But it's gotten a lot of like really, really good feedback, and like so many
Didn't
people
it sell
that,
really
like,
good?
Yeah, like I forgot if they ever
Was it
released
over
a
a million
number.
or 800,000 or something like that?
I
thought I heard a million.
I think they passed the 1 million mark within launch week.
I think so,
Yep.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which
that's
like
huge.
a lot of my friends who I didn't even realize were interested in like picking it up, all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I have to get this game. Like you see one person play it and you're just like, I need it too. And it's only like $25, you know, it's not like a super expensive game. But it's really good. Everyone should play it.
Cool.
You know we're late in the show when Brett's dog comes up and gets loves from him.
Literally
It's that
every
time
time
of
it
night.
starts to get this time.
Yeah.
He's always doing it. Now he's talking. But that's really cool. Brett, me and you were playing the same thing, so we'll hold off and see what John is playing. What are you playing?
Basically the same as last week, I think. So I finished
Langrisser?
Langrisser 2. Yeah, I finished it, and I mean,
Yeah.
it has like a million branching paths, so I could play it like 4 more times, but I don't wanna. So I'm done with it. But like, I really loved both of these games. Like, it might be just the most pure fun I've had with a game all year. Like in my head, I'd
Really?
give it like a 9 out of 10. Yeah, like they're not hard games. Like I mentioned, like they're kind of unusually easy as far as strategy games go, but they're just so much fun. Like it's like that's just the only word for it. Like it's just really, really fun to play. Like I wish there was more of them. Like
Now,
well,
you playing it in 2022, imagine how you would have felt long ago and when you played it when it came out.
yeah. There was
that'd
only
been, like,
one that came out.
life-changing.
Yeah, it came out as Warsong on the Genesis, and I would like to try that because I'd just be curious to see how I feel, and I'd be curious to see if it turns out they rebalance the game at all. I don't know, but like I loved what I played, and other than that, I've continued playing Earthbound Beginnings, and like it's just becoming a chore because the encounter rate is so bad. Just every few steps, you're at risk of another fight, and you're just basically auto battling
Just
your
like
way to
real life.
victory. So yeah, so like I don't know, it's kind of like an unpaid internship in a way. So,
The,
so like
the most the best quote to put on the box.
feels like playing an unpaid internship. But
It's like Animal Crossing.
yeah, right. But like I mean like the game's music is still really good, and for like an NES game, like actually the writing is kind of funny. Like I said last week, it all just kind of feels like the prototype for Earthbound. And if you're gonna play something, man, play Earthbound because that's on Switch Online as well, and that game is timeless. So only
I
play
need to play
Beginnings
that.
if like you're an old
You hate
man
your
like
life.
me, like if you're just like an old purist and all that, like yeah,
You're a glutton for punishment.
something like that. Yeah.
Basically. And
And
you're not even getting any trophies for it or nothing. So like there's no
nah.
proof. Like you never did it. Nothing matters.
I want to beat it once just so I know that I did, just so like I know I got the full experience out of it, but I think I'm going to do it like bit by bit while playing other things. And I got a good deal buying Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin used from Gamefly. It's
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
come like
Okay.
new. At least that's what Wario64 says. So I bought that for $30 on PS5 and that's on the way. So possibility I
I'd
might
like
play
to.
that next.
I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about that because that's one of those games that, like, it looked so bad, but like everyone that I hear that play it say it was actually surprisingly really good. So
Well, like I mean, the story looks hilarious and bizarre because there's like the Limp
right.
Bizkit music and all that. But well,
Yeah.
I played the original gameplay demo, and again, this is like a Final Fantasy Souls-like in a way, but the demo it was more forgiving than any like Souls-like I'd played. Not that I'd played many, but like if you died in the demo, there was no punishment. Like you started at your wherever your checkpoint was, but like you lost nothing. So it's just like you're just keeping that experience every time. So like that's a
Interesting.
much more palatable feedback
Yeah.
loop to me. Like I don't want to die and have to redo the same thing a million times. Like I
That's what I was saying
appreciated the
before.
fact, yeah, I appreciate the fact that in this, at least, again, I'm only speaking about the original demo. I never played anything else, but in the original demo, if I died, I would just literally run past everything that respawned until I was at the part I wanted to be at again. And it was like, well, this is great. This is
Yeah.
valuing my time. So, you know,
That's better.
yeah, so I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. And again, I only paid $30, so I feel good about this purchase.
Nice.
I'll never forget in the like that one of the previews where it shows the part where the guys are all putting their fists together doing a fist pound.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is the cheesiest, most cringe thing I've ever seen. And I thought it was going to be so bad, but like I said, I keep hearing good things. So
I keep hearing that the game is totally aware that it's cringe.
right,
Yeah.
Which is the best part.
Different, right?
It's different. It's not like Saints Row. Well,
Right.
Jeez.
I'm not far enough in Saints Row yet, but Saints Row doesn't feel that aware at all. But now, Brett, you're also playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, so why don't you tell us about that? I'll talk about a game I'm playing, and then we'll end it with Saints Row.
So I'm surprised that you never corrected anyone when they call it Yakuza, John, because I totally notice it now that it's Yakuza,
Yakuza,
Like a
yeah.
Dragon. And for the longest time I called it Yakuza too until I played the game. But I play it with the English dubs on and they say Yakuza over and over. So now it's like embedded in my brain now when I hear Yakuza, I'm like, I said that wrong for so long. But yeah, so I'm actually playing right now. I'm playing one game on each of the three main systems, which I just realized. I've been playing Yakuza for I don't know last week, week and a half, something like that. Really enjoying it. I got to a point where there was a pretty steep spike in difficulty, and I died a few times, so I've got to do a little grinding, which is fine. But I decided to do a little palate cleanser, and there was a new indie game that came out called Voyage on Switch, and it's on all consoles, but I got it on Switch, and so I started playing that as kind of like a little palate cleanser while I grind. And then me and Brett got Saints Row, and that dropped last night. Technically, it dropped at midnight, so I played that at like 9 my time, and played a couple hours. And I have to say, it's not amazing by any means. However, this game doesn't deserve a 6 out of 10. Like, okay, so here's
hang on, but there are different versions of a 6 out of 10, and I feel like that's not that offensive for what it is.
To me, a 6 is garbage. I feel like I hear
but
a
it's
6
not supposed to be.
So
it's not supposed to be.
So all right. So here's one problem I have with games media, and me and Brett have talked about this. I feel like if one major outlet, there's Voyage. Eric was playing it. It's not on there anymore. I'm on a delay. I feel like if one or two major outlets gives a game a score or has an opinion on it, every other major outlet feels like they have to piggyback and have that exact same opinion. And it goes not just on like a specific game, but like an opinion on anything. You know what I mean? Like I feel like whenever there's something like this that comes out, and everyone's afraid to go against the grain and say, you know what, I actually had a good time with this. I thought it was like an 8 or whatever, and I didn't think it was so bad. I feel like everyone's just like, well, Greg Miller said it was mediocre, so I'm going to give it a 5 or a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's always bothered me in games media. We're in such like a, what's the right word? Like a vacuum where I just feel like some of the major outlets all tend to be very samey with their responses, with their reviews. I went to like 6 different places when reviews came out. Games Radar gave it a 6. GameSpot gave it a 6. IGN gave it a 6. Metacritic had it at a 61. Like across the board was a 6. And I'm like, come on, there's got to be someone that thinks
maybe it's a 6.
Maybe it is, but here's I'm going somewhere with this. So I was listening to Janet Garcia talk about the game, and the way she talked about the game is it was the most shit thing she's ever played in her entire life. And then she went on to say, "Yeah, I would give it a 6." No, the way you talked about that game, have the balls to give it a fucking 2. Okay, don't go back and say it was a 6.
I agree with this. We should explore the scale more. Like, come on, guys.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The way you just described it, it was the most awful thing you've ever played. Have the balls to then say, I hated this game. It's a 1 or a 2 out of 10. Instead of saying, yeah, I give it a 6 as well.
Yeah,
so
but
anyways,
to be fair, you know, they do have embargo lifts, and they're not exactly looking at each other's scores before embargo lifts, or at least they shouldn't be. Like, even if I was reviewing a game and I knew that I was going to publish my article or give a score after embargo, I wouldn't look at anybody else's. Like, I don't give a shit or talk to anybody else, or my experience is much different, and I'll score it, you know, the way I think it's deserved of it. You know, especially like Rodea Sky Soldier, I gave it like a 2 because I felt like it was a very poorly made remastered game, but maybe it is a 6.
And I think honest people. No, you're right. Maybe it is. But I think honest people in the industry score it as what they think it really is, because I went into Metacritic and dug in, and there was places that gave it a 95. There's places that gave it an 80, but there were really smaller outlets that you don't really you don't like go to their website necessarily to find a review. You're going to go to some of the more major outlets. But there were people that gave it different scores. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's going to be with any game.
But then that speaks to their bias, though.
Yeah, but here's where I agree kind of with Brett. Kind of. I wouldn't say that like a lot of reviewers talk to each other during the review process. Some definitely do. Like definitely they talk to each other during. Like I've done it with my reviews. There have been times where I was like, I'm kind of feeling this, but then this and this, and then me and a different reviewer for another site were like, yeah, I kind of feel it too. So like we may have even affected each other's opinions a little bit. That kind of thing can happen. Like I will openly admit that.
Just that discussion back and forth, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the overwhelming majority of these reviewers all are talking to each other and decide we're all going to give this a 6. I think the game might just end up being actually
I don't
a 6.
think so.
But but here's where I agree with you. I think fans, audiences, and YouTubers who don't have access to this stuff, they take that 6 as fact before they play it. That game is terrible, and it just is known for being a terrible thing. When people really should explore the scale a little bit. Maybe check out the review. Check out why someone gave it a 95. Check out why someone gave it a 2. The middle ones are the least interesting. You want to know about the ones that are further away on both sides. At least that's how I feel. And I just feel like once a game is known for being bad on Metacritic, it's like a solid fact that like in someone's brain they're like, oh, that's not worth playing.
It's a death sentence.
That's not true though. Like there are plenty of TV shows, for example, that score terribly for me. And there's some of my favorite TV shows of all time that have like a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. And it's crazy that so many people take these things as fact whenever you could be missing out on something that you love. Like, I guarantee you people won't play this who would probably end up liking it and enjoying it. That's kind of sad.
One thing that gave me hope was I loved the first episode of House of the Dragon, and it got a 69 on Metacritic. So I'm like, okay, if that got a 69, there's hope for a game that got 63. Also, I think Punisher Season 1 got like a 60-something on Metacritic, wild. And that's one of my favorite seasons of any show of all time.
Fair,
so reviews, you can't
Greg,
really...
you're just you're just trying to make me mad today.
I don't like John.
So really, I guess at the end of the day, you just got to play something for yourself. But what makes me kind of feel bad for this game is, had I not pre-ordered this game, I may have never played it or waited way too long to play it and not given them the full, retail price of maybe what they deserve for this game. I would have bought it for $5 on some crazy Ubisoft sale or something like that. You know what I mean? Or not not Ubisoft. Is it Ubisoft? Not Ubisoft.
Yeah, but don't you think at that point, that does sway your opinion of the game, that you're taking the full amount that you invested?
It's escaping me.
Who the hell did this game?
Isn't it Deep Silver?
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they were.
But anyways, I kind of got into the weeds. I'll just tell you my impression of the game. I played probably 2 hours of it, and there were definitely some corny shit. Like, there's some lines that were, I just like rolled my eyes that were pretty bad. But I ended up having some fun with it. Like, I ended up putting the controller down at the end of the night last night, and I was like, I can see myself playing this all the way through. Like, I don't understand, and not just the score. Like, you're right, Brett. Technically, a 6 out of 10 is considered okay, but we all know deep down 6 out of 10 is not good.
To the internet, it's like pure garbage. Yeah.
Right, but like just hearing the reviews and reading what I read, like it just was basically talked about like it was like they would never recommend this. I think Janet literally said, "I want to recommend this to people because maybe it's something you could like, but deep down, I don't think anyone would ever find anything fun about this game." And I played it for 2 hours and I walked away and was like, no, this is fun. I'm looking forward to playing more of this tomorrow. So I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I played it too, and it's very much just the same as Saints Row 3 and 4. Like, the mechanics wise and the set pieces, they're very similar in feel, and I haven't experienced anything new, which kind of let me down. I was hoping for something to feel fresh. This is like 7 years after the last Saints Row game, and visually it looks pretty dated, and mechanically it feels pretty dated. But that said, big set pieces, and the environmental damage is really cool. Like all the different things that you'll see explode and like fly everywhere, like that kind of stuff is really cool, and that is actually more impressive than the past games. But yeah, I think it's good so far. It's okay. I would give it like a recommendation if you liked the previous Saints Rows, because it feels like more of the same. The story wise, I never played Saints Row for story, but story wise it is pretty different because it doesn't seem like satirical like I was expecting. Like, I thought it was going to be making fun of Gen Z, but it's not. It's not. It's more like it's like a real. They're being serious. Like it's a real story.
Right. Right.
Well, but like they're not being serious because they're like killing people to get rent money. But what I'm saying is, like, I was expecting.
It's like portraying how they think they would act as like a Gen Zer or a millennial or whatever.
I don't know. It honestly feels like a young millennial or a Gen Zer wrote this game. But
for sure,
and the writing's not very good in my opinion.
There was some stuff that was cool, like some of the like the melee abilities that you get. I don't know if you got to that part, but there's some really cool stuff you can do, like grab a guy, stuff a grenade down his pants, and then throw him at enemies so him and the enemies blow up. Like there's some cool stuff you can do, and like gameplay wise, it's fun. And then they'll ruin it with a line like, well, I couldn't do that at my last job. Like, just stupid, corny ass shit. You're like, oh, why did you have to say that? They just ruined a good moment, you know?
Dude,
so there's
I thought
definitely
that
some stuff that kill it.
that opening mission, visually it was really cool because they had like the colored smoke and then there was a bunch of explosions and stuff. But man, like the sound design and like all of like the whole feel of it felt like this is how you wanted to start the game. Like it wasn't enough compared to the other Saints Rows who start. There's literally at the beginning of Saints Row 4, you're on a rocket and it's playing a freaking Steven Tyler song. What's the but it's crazy. Like it's literally crazy insane. Like you're on a rocket flying up to space, like trying to destroy it. And this just like didn't even come anywhere close to that in terms of like the craziness of what Saints Row is. It was just like a very basic going through like a linear section and shooting people and not really feeling good. And you crouch with down on the D-pad. Like that's just weird.
I hated that. Also, one thing I hated is you can't take cover behind anything. And that drove me nuts. Like I wanted to go behind a wall and take cover and pop out and shoot. And you can't. You're just standing behind a wall and you have to like move over, shoot, and then go back behind cover. That drove me nuts. But anyways, we don't have to get into like all the details. But
yeah, we won't go too long on this. Well, actually, we can end the show now. Sorry, nobody else got to talk for the last like 20 minutes. Felt like me and Brett just did. But yeah, it's been a good episode. It's kind of long, so we'll just close it out kind of quick. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. And if you want to find this show on audio feeds, please go find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much everywhere else. Just search Spot Dodge, and you should see us somewhere near the top. And thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. Love you all. Goodbye.